Hello everybody, it is Thursday the 5th of October and today I'm recording from home this morning because I have the day off work for the rather pleasant fact that I'm going to be going to a wedding in the early afternoon today, and so I've taken the whole day off to allow myself to sleep in a little, so I'm not going to be falling asleep at 7:30 this evening on the one hand, but also to get ready, have a proper shower, get my suit ready and all that kind of thing. So thought I'd just talk a little bit about the wedding I'm going to attend. It's a wedding of a colleague of mine, but he is more than just a colleague. He, in fact, lived with me for about 18 months, 4 years ago, I suppose it must be, and he decided to move out to get his own little flat, actually just around the corner from where I now live. And he had a few girlfriends, nothing serious. There were 2 or 3. He'd had a long-term relationship. They'd broken up amicably, and he had dated a couple of people, but nothing particularly serious. But one of the people he dated is a German, and her friend, also a German, was living in London and was introduced to Andy, and they started a relationship, and it was beginning to perhaps have some legs. So Jess, his girlfriend, or yes, I guess, because she's German, decided she wanted to move to Oxfordshire from London to see whether or not the relationship would go somewhere. But they didn't want to move in together because it was very early in their relationship, so she came and lived with me for about 18 months as well. After which they then both moved into their own rented home in North Abingdon and finally bought a house in Didcot. Last year, in fact. So I know both of them very well. I've had the pleasure of sharing my home with both of them, separately and together. And Jess is, Andy is a creative in that he runs our commercial department, but he doesn't do the graphic design. He has graphic designers who work in the department for him, so his is more the ideas rather than the execution of design. But Jess has a variety of responsibilities, but is herself a paper crafter, and so she put together the little wedding invitations, which I just thought I'd show you just because I think they're really very pretty indeed. So this was inside the envelope that arrived at my home, and as you can see, there's their name on the front with this beautiful tree with growing fruit shaped like love hearts. And the wrapper comes off, and inside the purple card is the invitation proper, which is very pretty indeed. And then a card detailing the venue, which is also very pretty, and in front of that a little note about not wanting gifts, but happy to either accept a donation to their honeymoon fund or a donation to charity, which I thought was very sweet. And there was also an RSVP card, which I'm pleased to say I did remember to send back to them, so I don't have a copy of that, but I just thought the whole little package was really very beautifully put together on very attractive cardstock. Now, Jess is German and Andy is Australian, although he has now taken British nationality as well. So the fact that the wedding is on a Thursday is not a significant inconvenience to most of their family and friends, because they're going to have to travel across continents, in fact. And it certainly isn't an inconvenience to me, although I have to confess, I only remembered last Thursday when I bought my wedding card for them, which is this card. I thought this would appeal to Jess as a card crafter. It's only occurred to me when I bought the card, and I thought I'd done rather well remembering a week in advance to buy a card that I hadn't actually booked the day off work. Fortunately, that wasn't an issue, and I have managed successfully to book the day off, so I will be getting ready shortly. The wedding is in an interesting location. The wedding is taking place in a barn, a converted barn, outside of Henley. Now, Henley is in Oxfordshire, but it has a Reading postcode, which is in Berkshire, but the venue, which has a Reading postcode and a Henley street address, is in Buckinghamshire. So I'm actually going to be at a wedding in Buckinghamshire that's pretending to be Oxfordshire, that's pretending to be Berkshire. It's one of the peculiarities of the British administrative systems, I guess, that what works for one part of government administration, for example, local authorities, with being in the county of Oxfordshire, doesn't work for the Royal Mail, which sets the postcodes, and so it's a postcode that's got a Berkshire prefix, and doesn't reflect the fact that the physical location of the I can't think of the word. The venue, that's the word. The physical location of the venue, although it has a has a Henley address and is referred to as being just outside Henley, is actually entirely within a different county, the county of Buckinghamshire. So I just thought I'd share that with you, just the idiosyncrasies and the quirks of the British administrative systems. We never like to make things easy for people. At least all three of those counties have names which are broadly pronounceable by people who are not native, although Berkshire, to many even English speakers from overseas, looks like Berkshire. So, but there's a whole other area of that which I'm not going to go into in this podcast because it would be inappropriate content for YouTube. Sorry, slight technical difficulties there. I'm actually really looking forward to going to this wedding. I've met both Jess's and Andy's family. They've both been over to stay while each one of them was living with me. So it will be a really good time, and I'm really pleased for them getting married. They're such a lovely couple. They're both individually such nice people, and together they just seem to work so well for each other that I'm really happy to be taking part in this. I will try and get some footage while I'm out today, although obviously as a guest I don't want to be intruding on their wedding, but I will take my selfie stick and my microphone as well as the camera, and then maybe get a little bit of footage, particularly of the location, just to show you how beautiful this part of the world can be. It's, as a northerner, the south of England is beautiful, almost what we call chocolate box scenery. It's very manicured, it's very sweet, it's very bucolic. But as a northerner, I much prefer the slightly more wild and woolly and shaggy scenery of places like the Pennines and the North York Moors and the lakes. There's just or even Snowdonia as well, in the Peak District. For me, there's I don't know what the word is. It's not an honesty, because I'm not saying that there's a difference in the style of agriculture that means that the overall effect of these areas is markedly different. Both are beautiful in very different ways. I sometimes find the chocolate box attention to detail of places like the Cotswolds can sometimes be a little bit cloying on me. I much prefer slightly more unkempt beauty, but it is beautiful, and I hope to share some of that with you later. So I'm off now to go and get myself ready, and I will speak to you later. Bye. Well, I'm just about to head off to the wedding now. It's just coming up to midday, so it will take about 40 minutes to drive there, and they want the guests to arrive by 1 o'clock for the ceremony to begin at 1:30. I've got my suit. I'll be putting a jacket on as well, but I've taken my inspiration for the colour scheme today from Jess's own colour scheme, which is purple with a dark grey black tree and then the pink hearts, and so I hope she appreciates that I'm trying to fit in with her colour scheme. Anyway, I will try and take some footage from the venue, as I say, though I don't want to interfere with their own arrangements, but I will see you later when I post this. It will probably be fairly late because the meal doesn't begin until 6 p.m, so I'm probably going to be loading this up quite late tonight. So see you then, bye. So I'm here at Andrew and Jessie's wedding at Old Luxter's Bar, which is a brewery and winery in Chilterns. It's a beautiful location, you can see. Bride and groom are just taking photos around the other side at the moment, so we're just taking the opportunity to update my video. It was a bit of a magical mystery tour actually getting here. The location is really in the middle of nowhere. The single track roads and sat-nav is not always entirely happy about the route I was taking, but I got here in time and it's a beautiful place. The sun is shining. Mr. and Mrs. Morrison are now happily married, and we're just going to go off and enjoy the beginning of the reception. So I will upload this video tonight when I get home, and I'll speak to you all again tomorrow. Bye. So I'm just back from the wedding. I've just been here about 5-10 minutes now, and it's nearly 10 o'clock at night. I just wanted to say I had a wonderful day celebrating two wonderful people getting married, and it was lovely to meet up with their families again. We met them before, it was meeting old friends, but also meeting many new friends. So I'm just going to upload this podcast and then it's off to bed because I've work again in the morning. But I hope your day was as blessed as mine today. Good night.